I wanted to do a quick video on how to graph piecewise function, a piecewise function that has two pieces, so that you can use this to do your homework. So the very first thing I want to do is I am going to create a table of values, and then I'm going to use that table of values to plot the points. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be using this part of the function, piece of the function, and you can see it says x has to be less than a -3. So always start with the numbers that they give you. So I'm going to start with a -3, and then I need one more number in order to plot a line. So, and the number has to be less than a -3. So let's just use a -4. Now, once I got these two inputs, I'm going to plug them into this function, and the output is what I'm going to use to plot these points. So this is going to be 6 times a -3 plus 24 equals a -18 plus 24, which is going to be a +6. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the other input. It's going to be 6 times a -4 plus 24 equals a -24 plus 24 equals 0. Now I've got my 2 points. Remember, before you plot anything, if you look at this, this says x is less than a -3. So we know that this is going to be an open circle because we don't want to include that point that has a -3. Okay, we don't want to include that. So we're going to go to a -3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is where my first point is going to be, and it's an open circle because we're not including that -3. Then I need the second point. It's going to be a -4, 0, which is going to be about right here. Now, I'm just drawing a little dot because really what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that to draw my line. That's the only reason I put that point there, so I can draw my line through it. And notice, I put an arrow on this because this part of the graph is going to go on forever. It says as long as x is less than a -3, it's a part of this function. So that's why I use an arrow on that. Now, I'm going to do the second part. So I'm going to make the second part the second table, and I'm going to use this little boundary here, the 5, and then it says I need another point. So it says the number has to be greater than 5. So I'm just going to use 6. That's the number that's right after 5. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to use this piece of the function, and I'm going to plug in 5 and evaluate it. So this is going to be 5 minus 3, and the output is going to be 2. And then it's going to be 6 minus 3, and the output is going to be 3. Now that I've got those 2 points, I'm ready to plot it. Remember, because this is x is greater than 5 and it doesn't have an equal sign, this is going to have an open circle. So when I plot this, I go over to 5, I go up to 2, right here. It's going to be an open circle because I don't want to include that point. All right, and then I need to plot my other points. So I'm going to go 6, 3. And just like I did before, I'm just going to put a little dot there because I'm going to use that dot to draw my arrow through. All right, and that's what it should look like. That's what my graph looks like. And notice this has an arrow too. So once you do that, you're done with this. Make sure your lines, if they need arrows, make sure they have the arrows, and also make sure that you take into account the inequality so you know if it's going to be an open circle or a closed circle. But that's it, guys. That's how you plot a piecewise function.